Hey guys, what's up? It's Gia. So I wanted to talk about some things that you can do during this pandemic to keep your spirits up and to keep you aligned and hopefully help you glow up a little bit. So I wanted to start off saying, if you're still alive during this time, that's enough, as it is, enough reasons to be grateful. I mean, a lot of people have lost loved ones or passed away, which is incredibly sad, and my heart goes out to them. So if you are alive during this time, one of my first reasons and tips is to express gratitude. So I would highly recommend, waking up and just thanking the universe that you're still alive, because that is truly something to celebrate. It is a miracle, and it is really special to be able to continue your journey when people have had to end theirs. And leading into that, gratitude is one of the things that's really helped me through this process. So the way I sort of express gratitude is I like to just think of about 10 things when I wake up. Some people like to say them out loud or journal them, whatever you're grateful for. I've noticed that if I actually do it over things that I'm genuinely grateful for and it feels authentic, it feels like it raises my vibration. So try to really think about it and say what you're really grateful for versus, just the typical things that everybody says. The second thing is to meditate. So for me personally, I like doing guided meditations. I usually just find them off YouTube. The amount of time that I've done them that feels the most aligned for me is about 10 minutes, maybe 15. I think I've done a few really long ones and those feel really awesome, but sometimes somebody might open the door or something in my apartment and it kind of throws it off, or someone might call me or something like that. So I like to keep them kind of shorter, but if you have the time, the longer sometimes the better, because you can get deeper into the meditation. But if you can at least try to meditate for 5 to 10 minutes a day, your quality of life will drastically improve. I feel like your perception improves, and you just feel all around a lot more enlightened and kind of float through your day in a good mood. The next thing is to exercise every day. So I know that a lot of people have been, recommending exercise during this time. For me personally, my favorite way to exercise has been to look up videos on YouTube where you just use your own body weight. I feel like for me that's generated the most sweat, the most intensity, the most my heart racing, and I just feel like that really gets my muscles, and after I'm just covered in sweat, so I feel like it's a really good workout. Another thing that I've been doing though is I've been running, in a pretty area. I'll just pick to run for 30 minutes, and that definitely gets you to sweat. The sweating part is important because it's draining your lymphatic system from toxins, and then you shower them all off, so you're gonna feel a lot better after, and then you rehydrate with water. So it really helps with acne and can help prevent cancer and things of that nature. But yeah, just find a workout that you like, even if it's a quick walk. If you can get in 30 minutes a day, it'll definitely improve your mood. When you exercise, it releases endorphins, and what I've been recommending is to try to knock it out first thing in the morning, because then you have it over with, you're already feeling really productive throughout your day. But sometimes night workouts are fun too, so whatever makes you feel happy or comfortable. And since we have a little extra time, if you really have a goal for your body, I think working out even a couple times a day wouldn't hurt. So the next thing is to eat raw foods. So by raw, I mean in its whole form, unadulterated. I think that's the right word. So I've been making a lot of smoothies, a lot of fresh salads, and a lot of juices. I did start being raw vegan again, and I feel completely amazing. Before, I was eating a lot of cooked kind of junk foods. I'd Uber Eats and stuff like that. and I just felt like really down and sort of like depressed because my body was trying so hard to catch up with all the food I was eating and to digest it all. And I think a lot of people are using food as an outlet to cope during this time, which I totally understand, but if you can incorporate more raw foods into your diet, you're going to feel a lot more energized, a lot happier. The raw foods are what is meant to go into our body, not the chemically processed, like sodium loaded types of foods. So, maybe try to juice something or make your own smoothies. Everyone thinks it's really expensive to be raw, but if you do it the right way and you do your research, it's actually sometimes cheaper. So just try to look into that. It's definitely improved my quality of life. I feel much happier being raw. But if you don't want to go full raw, even if you just want to do like a smoothie every day or a juice, that will definitely help you. And during this time, you want a strong immune system in case you do get sick, and that will really help you to fight, any viruses, or I know the flu is going around too, so just try to look into that. The next thing is to drink a ton of water. So I try to drink at least half a gallon a day. I know some people say you should drink a gallon. I'm pretty small, and since I am raw and I drink like a lot of fresh juice all day, and a lot of fruit with high water content, I'm not super strict on myself, but if I had a diet where I was eating a lot of sodium or a lot of cooked foods, I would definitely be trying to drink a gallon of water a day. That's another thing about eating raw, is you don't have to drink as much water because your foods contain so much water. Drinking a lot of water has really improved my digestive system, my overall moods, my motivation and productivity. And when I drink it, because first thing in the morning I try to drink 30 ounces, I feel like it just flushes everything out that needs to be flushed out, and I just feel like I can start my day off right. I think water is really essential to your body. I mean, we are mostly made of water, so for me it helps my skin. It just helps put me in a better mood in general, so I would definitely recommend trying to drink at least 64 ounces a day. The next thing is reading books and just learning new information in general, whether that's through a podcast, a YouTube video, an audiobook. If there's something that you've wanted to learn, like a new language, learn about a new topic, anything of that sort, it'll definitely make you more confident and just altogether more well-rounded, to help you attract, other people that are more well-rounded and have more knowledge. So this is definitely that time to spend an hour, a couple hours a day brushing up on something that maybe fell off when you were busy working all the time, or just trying to learn something new. I think for anyone, when we learn something new, it kind of gives us like a boost of confidence, because it just makes you feel smarter. And during this time, I think it's really important to stimulate your brain, because a lot of people aren't working and a lot of people aren't in school, or they're just doing online school, and we need to keep our brain constantly stimulated so we can sort of keep up. People get smarter and smarter, in my opinion, as time goes on, and you want to be able to keep a good conversation, learn about what's kind of going on in the world. For me, I've always been really interested in spiritual topics and health topics, so that's usually what I'm always reading about. And the less time you're reading a book and on your phone, the better for your overall mental health in general. So even if you wanted to learn a new language, that will definitely help stimulate your brain, and this would be an awesome time to do that. The next thing is to deep stretch. So I think it's really important that people stay flexible and limber during this period and in general. Staying flexible increases blood flow, and when you increase your blood flow, I feel like it's easier to think, less brain fog. Your body overall just feels better in general, and I just feel like you're able to function better. I think stretching is really essential, especially if you're working out a lot. They say that people that stretch usually tend to live longer, like people who are older and more flexible and limber. It kind of keeps your muscles from locking up, so that long term you're still healthy and you're still able to do all the things that you want to do when you get a little older. I've made a few stretching goals, so I try to stretch for about 30 minutes a day, and after I do, I just feel like a whole new person. And it's really cool when you're able to accomplish your goals, like if you're trying to learn to do the splits or something like that. Another cool thing about stretching is all you need is your body. So if you learn how to stretch your body, you can do it, almost anywhere, anytime, any place. And it's something that's also not going on your phone or something of that sort. So even if you're just like hanging out with your family, watching TV, you can just start stretching and you'll feel really good after, trust me. The next thing is to learn a new skill. So this is kind of like knowledge, but different in a way where, like, let's say you've always wanted to be really good at cooking, or you've always wanted to learn how to make candles, or I don't know, you wanted to be like a personal trainer, so you want to learn how to be really good at working out. This is definitely that time where you can dedicate extra time to yourself and accomplishing all the things of that sort. For me personally, what I've been doing to learn is make more of my own products that are vegan, cruelty-free, biodegradable, and just cheaper in general, actually, and just better for your body. And it's actually been really fun sort of experimenting and learning what works, what doesn't work, and then after you do it a few times, like, you get the hang of it. And depending on what you're learning, you can start saving yourself a lot of money. Like if you wear wigs and you learn how to make wigs, if you learn how to make your own makeup, cooking would save you a lot of money because then you're not eating out so much. And I also think that's another thing that just gives you confidence, is knowing that you can do something yourself. That just builds you up, and that's something that you can talk about. The more you learn, the more you know what to do, the more conversations you can have, the more you can talk about, the more deep you can go, the more interesting you are to other people. And I think that's important to keep building your personality and yourself as a person, because like for me, I'm not really interested in talking to people. I mean, I'm not judging or anything because I've been there, but I'm not really interested in like talking about other people or just boring, bland topics. But if somebody has a cool new skill they've learned, or something that they've been reading about, that's an awesome conversation, and it really sort of makes you think and gets into your brain and makes you feel like a connection. So I think it's really important to learn new stuff. Plus, you might learn how to do something and realize you're super passionate about it, and you might be able to make a career out of it, which would be super cool. In this society, I feel like a lot of people run from their passions, or they don't even know what their passions are, and we end up doing things that just help us get by. It's like you either do it to get by or you do it for the money, and it's not something you're truly passionate about. So this is a time where you can actually go in deep and get yourself to uncover what it is that you're passionate about, and just really get good at it to the point where maybe you could profit off it. And then the saying goes, like, you'll never work a day in your life if you do what you love. The next thing is to get sunlight. So sunlight is extremely essential to our body's function, to mental health. Vitamin D is such an essential vitamin. And I feel like a lot of people kind of overstep that, and you may, maybe stay inside all day, just watch some TV or whatever. I totally get that during this time, but what a better time than to just walk around and really just let the sun soak into your skin. If you struggle with digestive issues, acne, any sort of skin disorder, the sun will really help repair that. And they also say that the sun is an antiviral. So I recommend getting as much sun as you can, because once this passes over, you might not have that amount of time anymore. So I really think this time is about doing what you can and capitalizing off that, not focusing on what you can't do. like now you have more time, so you can learn something you've always wanted to learn. You can deep clean your house, you can sit out in the sun more, and there's sort of a beauty in that stillness. So even if it's just a little walk around the park, even if it's just sitting on your balcony, I'm telling you, getting sun will just completely change your life. Another thing that I've learned during this time is to really enjoy the moment. Now we actually have time and we don't have to be so rushed when we're doing things. I mean, if you don't have a job, some people are living like kind of the same sort of life because they're still working. But if you can just sit and actually really talk to someone and pay attention to what they're saying, or you cook and you're really smelling all the fragrances and you're really taking your time to cut everything up, or you're going on a walk and you're really just listening to the nature around you and just breathing in the fresh air. It's actually a time period where we can truly learn to be still and mindful and in the moment, which brings contentment. So really capitalizing off that, even when you're cleaning, for me, when I can work, it's like I'm always working, and when I'm cleaning, it's super rushed. When I'm getting ready, it's rushed. When I wake up and do my routine, it's rushed. When I'm working out, it's rushed. Now I can actually put my full 100% effort into learning how to be mindful and still. And I think that's super cool that we have that opportunity in that time, so that when this is all over, we can go back into the real world and implement these new techniques we've sort of learned to create more peace and contentment. Another thing is to do a journal prompt. So I think this is also an awesome time to get to know yourself. Like what I was saying about finding your passions, this could be a time where you really delve into your own personality, your own psyche, your own subconscious, your own soul. You know, get to know yourself, get to know your hurt, your trauma, get to know your true feelings regarding certain situations that you've kind of stuffed to the side because you've been working constantly and just going out and partying or something like that. This is the perfect time to sit and do a journal prompt every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Just revisiting yourself, you know, revisiting your soul, getting back to who you really are. You can journal about, I mean, there's tons of them on Instagram, online. Whenever I journal, I feel like I get closer to my true feelings and my true self, because as you're writing, you're just uncovering so many emotions and situations that you've compartmentalized. So it really helps you to grow and heal and release. So I think journal and journal prompts are an awesome way to heal during this time, and definitely try them out. Acts of kindness. So there's a ton of different ways you can act kindly during this time. For me, I've tried to just treat people with more kindness. I've tried to share my resources with people more. For me, I've just been donating to this charity called Chills on Wheels, and it's like a vegan charity, and they're delivering food all over New York. So if you have a little extra money to spare, that could really help people out right now. Even if you just wanted to get food and pass it out. I know we're supposed to be practicing social distancing, but there are ways to be kind and to help people, even if it's just within your own family, even helping a family member that's maybe a little bit more immobile to clean a part of their house or something, or to just give someone a simple compliment. I think during this time, a lot of people could really use love and empathy right now to raise the vibration, because it is a little bit of a dark time. Another thing is to express your artistic self. So this kind of ties into learning a new skill, but I think everybody has an artistic side. From what I've sort of learned, I feel like people either like to read, make music, write, draw, make poetry, make songs. Everyone kind of has their little artistic thing that they like to do. Maybe it's even like graphic design, or just like being super stylish and like thrifting. So try to explore that artistic side of yourself. For me, I really like to paint, and I know that when I do that, it's sort of like a meditative experience, and after I do it, I feel more accomplished. more confident and more aligned and calm, because I've really had time to focus on something that makes me happy and just let my thoughts flow freely and be in like a state of flow, if you guys have ever heard of that, like being in a state of flow. So learning about, your artistic self can open you up to sort of a whole different like meditative world that you can go into at any time. I know, for example, like for my mom, she likes to craft and scrapbook, and then I have friends who like to make music, and this is the perfect amount of time where you can dedicate, because art is intricate and it's fragile and gentle and beautiful, and during this time you can actually dedicate the time you need to make it genuine instead of like rushed and just like put together too fast. Another thing, this is sort of my conclusion, is once you've got to know yourself more and you've gotten closer to your physical goals, your health goals, your spiritual, mental, any type of goal you have, get concise about what you want your future to look like after this is over. I think for a lot of people, they've sort of had an awakening, like, wow, I really need to spend more time with my family. I need to connect with my friends more, or I need to spend more time cleaning my house and cooking. It makes me feel so much better. So whatever you've learned during this time, go out and apply that after this, but sort of reflect on it. For me, I really learned that there's a city that I have my heart set on, and I really want to move there after this is all said and done. And I want to, I have like a certain plan, certain goals. What I'm saying is, like, you should try to make a plan. Nothing ever really goes as planned, but try to make a rough outline of what you're going to do to change your life after this, because I'm certain that nobody's life is going to be the same after this. We've all learned and we've all grew from this situation. So even if you just make a vision board, or if you write down things you want to implement into your life after this, now is the time to reflect and ask yourself, are the ways that you're living for your better self, for the betterment of yourself, for your higher self, or are you living like a sort of stagnant and stuck lifestyle, complacent? So yeah, just try to make a plan of how you're going to change after this and what you're going to implement, because that's going to make you feel really refreshed and motivated once this is over, so that you don't go back into your old ways. Because another thing is, I think that we all have our old ways that we've learned from this. Like for me, if I was to go back into my old ways, that would just be going back and working 6 or 7 days a week and just trying to make as much money as I could. But now I've learned that being super well off isn't the only thing that's going to make you happy, and you need more than that to feel truly connected. So try to find, the holes in your life and sort of fix them. It's like a puzzle. Try to repuzzle it so that you come out of this changed and better. So I hope my tips helped you guys. Comment below if they did, and have a good day.